Good morning, students. Today we will see about the important sensory organ called skin. The skin is the largest organ in our body. Okay, it contributes about the 16 percentage of the body weight, and it is length about 1.5 to 2 meter square. In this class, we are going to see the different structures and layer of the skin, and what are all called the skin appendages. What is present in the skin is called some skin appendages. What are all the important layers? Is there any glands are present? How the nerves and blood supply are present where? Which area blood supply is present? Which area of the skin it is not present? Which layer of the skin which is not present? One overview will be seeing. Mostly this question for the nursing and paramedical students will be come for the 5-mark question. So the first one, if you see the layers of the skin, the first layer is called the epidermis and the dermis, and the deeper layer is called the hypodermis. So the epidermis is a superficial layer. The epidermis have a 5 layers are present. This is called the stratum corneum. This is nearly, it is about the 25 to 30 layers are present in this one. This is called dark keratinizing cells are present, and stratum lucidium. The stratum lucidium, which is present only in the palms and the soles, it has got nearly the 3 to 5 layer. Then will be stratum granulosum, it is 3 to 7 layers are present. Stratum spinosum, 8 to 10 keratinized layer are present, and the stratum bacilli. Then this stratum bacilli, single cuboidal columnar epithelial cells are present. Melanin cells, like these melanocytes are present in this one. Melanocytes are presenting the pigment is called the producing the pigment is called melanin, which is nearly giving the color to the skin. Are you understanding? So this is the color to the skin. This mainly stratum corneosum 25 to 30 layer. It's like a protecting layer. Mainly it is prevent the invading of the bacteria, and this overall the skin is protecting the internal organs. That is the main function. This layer is playing a main important role. So this is the, we are not going to deep studying about each layer and which epithelium is forming and what is each layers formed by the different epithelium. We are not going to study in a skin doctor level, but you can draw this picture, and only this is the epidermal layer have a 5 layer. In that 5 layer deep we are not going to study. Just we will see about the epidermal layer. This epidermal layer, do they have a blood supply? There is a question. So they do not have a blood supply. So where they are taking the blood supply from? They are taking blood supply from the dermis layer. Dermis layer, if you take this dermis layer, that is two part. That is a dermal layer and reticular layer. This dermal layer is a dermal papillae is present. So this reticular layer is a glands are present in this surface. So this dermal papillae, it is taking its nutrients from the dermal papillae. Understand? So skin color also, this one I will explain before going to this dermal layer. We will see in this overview of the structure of the skin. This is called the epidermis. This area is called the dermis. In the dermal area, in the part little bit adipose tissue is also present, but in the hypodermis there are arteries are present, all these glands are present, and simple tubular glands are present over here. These are all called the sweat glands are present, and this one this is called the hair. This is the bulb of the hair, shaft of the hair. Okay, and then hair, in this hair all the blood vessels and the nerve endings are present in the hair, so that if you are pulling hair there will be in this one, and this is a gland which is present. Also this is called the sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland which will be secreting the substance called the sebum. It has got protein, triglycerides, cholesterol, some substances is present. It's like, so sebum which will be nearly keeping the skin very much moisture. The simple tubular like a structure is called the sweat glands are there. These all hair appendages, and there is a muscle like a structure which is keeping it. This one is called areata pili. goose booming, that during the emotional this one hair will be standing in a erection, that mainly by the arrector pili, the muscle. This is the adipose tissues. This is the nerve endings are present. So these nerve ending to entering into the dermal papillae. So these nerve impulses are touch, pain, all these area, whatever the feeling, touch, tactile sensation, temperature, sensation, all these feelings are taken into the area of the brain. Okay. So this is about about the overview about this structure. Now we have seen what is called epidermis, like we have seen stratum corneosum, stratum lucidium. Stratum lucidium only present in the palm and sole. Stratum granulosum, what all the layers are present, stratum spinosum and stratum bacilli. Then will be the stratum bacilli will have the melanocytes, and melanin is mainly basing single layer. This is the only single layer which is there. What are all the cuboidal, keratomized or non-keratomized cells, we have seen it. If not remember only these, you remember this much alone, it is more than enough. Next we will go to about the dermis. Understand? Dermis is like a this portion is called the like a two parts, the dermal papillae layer and reticular area. This reticular area only, it is like elastic, collagen fibers it is made up of. Most of the glands are present in this area. Next, you should know about what are the skin colors. Skin colors are differentiated by the various pigments which is present in the cells. So, increased melanin pigments are present. It gives the dark color skins. Africans, Indians, mostly we have a dark color skins. And increased keratin is present. It gives the yellow color skin. And oxygen rich in the blood or the hemoglobin, it is giving the crimson color. When there is oxygen reduced, it is giving the blue color. Understand? Then the appendages of the skin. What is called appendages of the skin? So hair, sebaceous gland, arrector pili, all these sweat glands, all these called the skin appendages. What is hair? The hair are present throughout the body. It is not present only in the palm and the sole. It is more present in the eyebrows and some axilla and the groin area. Some like that, some hairs are totally it is present. And about the sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland, it's like a single acinar gland. The sebaceous gland is the secreting the substance is called the sebum. Understand? And then arrector pili, I told you, it is a muscle which is holding this one during the emotional status. Arrector pili making this goose bombing, we will be telling. And the sweat glands. Sweat glands are two types of the sweat gland. This is called the eccrine sweat glands and the apocrine sweat glands. Sweat glands are more increase in number in the head and form and the sole. And also it is present. It is according to the temperature and other thing, it is secreting. And sebum, it is containing cholesterol, triglycerides, some inorganic salts are present. But about the sweat glands, is secreting sweat, urea, uric acid, salt, something which is present in the like eccrine. What is eccrine sweat glands? Okay, eccrine sweat gland. What is called apocrine sweat gland? Apocrine sweat glands, eccrine sweat glands is not present some areas. So where eccrine sweat glands also, it is activated immediately after the birth, and it is not present in the glands of penis, nipple, some areola, some places it is not present. Okay, lips also it is not present. What is called apocrine sweat? Apocrine gland secreting the sweat is called the cold sweat. It is not activated during the birth. It is activated during the puberty. It is secreting the substances which is called the cold sweat. It is more present in the glands of penis, in the like nipple and other area. It is more present. So this is about the appendages of the skin. If it is a 5-mark question, it is coming. Write short notes on appendages of skin. You write hair, about what is hair, where it is present throughout the body, where and the what is, you draw the stuck hair and you can write the root, bulb, shaft. You can write it and mark it. Okay, and you can write the sebaceous gland, sebaceous gland is blocked sometimes during the puberty, sometimes it's blocked, whitehead will be forming, inflammation of the sebaceous gland, you can write it called the acne. And you can write about small few points up to our erector pili you can write. And you can write about the sweat glands, how many number of sweat glands are present, 3 to 4 million sweat glands are present. It's called the eccrine glands and apocrine glands. Eccrine glands activated during the birth, immediately after the birth it is been its work will be vary, and its function will be increase or decrease according to the climatic conditions. Okay, then apocrine glands are the cold sweats. Okay, and then nerve endings are present, and here blood vessels are hypodermis is where there is a adipose tissues are present, where there is a blood supply, all the nerve endings are also present, and the blood supply, vein supply, all these things are present. And the dermal papillae, the nerve ending into the dermal papillae, this dermal papillae taking its sensation to the peripheral nervous system, and it is reaching to the brain. So it is also important one of the organ, one of the important sensory organ, which is the largest organ in our body. You can remember how many length and how much is the body weight it contribute, how many percentages you can write throughout the body it is present, and all these things. If you remember all these things, applied anatomy also you can remember. And sometimes functions they will be asking for the 5 mark. Madam has written only about the hints and you can elaborate it. So function means you can tell, because first and foremost is a protective function. How it is protecting? It's protecting from bacteria, viral and mechanical injuries, and toxic substances falling, acid is forming. It protects the internal organs. And regulation, it's regulating the temperature, isn't it? Temperature regulatory center they will be asking, and then temperature receptors where it is present they will be asking. So this temperature receptor is present in the dermal papillae, it is presenting. And one more thing you have to remember, this dermal papillae, I have written this papillae, dermal papillae, it is mainly ridges of the skin surface. Mainly it is forming the fingerprint. Each and every body will be changing fingerprints. That is main responsible by the dermal papillae. This all the one forming. Some people will be like this, some people will be in the other shape. It's all planned. This one we have seen reticular gland, elastic. So it is this dermal papillae, mainly this one forming this one. It is elastic. It's expandable. Reticular means it is expandable. Okay, let us come back to the function. Function is a protection function, regulation function, and the temperature receptors are present in the dermal papillae, and it is taking these impulses to the sensory area of this one, perceive the sensation. And the storage function, what it is mainly storage, it is doing storage about the fat and water, and also one of the synthesis of vitamin D. Okay, in children we give phototherapy, but in adult we can go and stand in the sunlight. So vitamin 3 is very much essential. Even it is playing a main role in a calcium. Vitamin D3 is essential for calcium absorption also. It's called the twin vitamin. Then excretion function, like as we told, some sweats are excreting sodium, chloride, urea, uric acid being excreted. And then absorption, some ointment you are putting in the skin, it is been absorbed and activated. And secretory functions, it has got apocrine gland, echocrinal gland, sweat gland, sebaceous gland. All these glands are secreting and doing its own function. So this is about the anatomy and physiology of the skin. A little bit we will remember about some diseases in the skin, because the skin is important. And one more thing you have to remember, any autoimmune disease, first it reflected in the skin, or any internal problem or kidney problem, anything will be reflected. Sometimes patients being treated for the outward, you have to refer them to the correct doctors, rather only a wrong diagnosis. As a nurses we have to remember that, like some of the, for example I can say, butterfly rashes in the face, we may treat for butterfly rashes, that is the symptom of SLE. So you have to carefully learn and correlate what is the symptom, and you have to inform to the physician. Our work at least to inform and create an awareness to the our medical faculty, so that right time patient will be treated and prevent the complication. Why I am telling is, skin is the biggest organ. It reflect the internal problem are reflected in the skin. That is my point. As a nurse, why we learn anatomy physiology? To help the doctors and help the nurses and help the patients to be treated at a right time. Okay, what is the skin diseases? Now we can see, like wound healing also you have to study. Sometimes they will be asking how the repair is happen place. We have seen cell division, how meiosis, mitosis. Okay, that and all you know very well. Stages of repair: inflammation, then formation of granulation tissues, and then formulation of the scar. So slowly these layers been replaced. Okay, let us that you learn that deeply. Sometimes they may ask for the 5 mark question. Diseases of the skin, maybe mention 2 or 3 diseases of the viral infection in the skin. You can very well write herpes simplex, herpes zoster. They will form the like vesicles, sacules and vesicles, and this one what will happen, fluid like substances will be present. You might have come across these when you are in a childhood. And then about the bacterial infections and the fungal infections, like bacterial infections, like inflammation of the sebaceous gland, we told no, acne will be forming, and boils, inflammation of the hair follicles, some boils will become carbuncle. There's a deep boils called the carbuncle. It's so painful, this one. Then the fungal infection is a ringworm infection. Scalp, this called the scalp, it is called a tinea capitis. Tinea capitis is the ringworm infection in the scalp, is called tinea capitis. Tinea pedia, it is called athletic foot. It is in between the toes, it is being affected. It looks like an athletic foot. And insect bites, scabies. Scabies, maybe these insects also, scabies causing the disease called psoriasis. Psoriasis, if you are not treated, all the folds of the skin being affected, it will end up in a cellulitis. And also bed sore. Bed sore is otherwise called the decubitic ulcer. So it is an important, why it is pressure sore is coming continuously, you are putting the patients in one place, skin, very big problem. The skin layer is being affected, it is decubitic ulcer. The internal organ will be direct inoculation of the bacteria, cause septic shock. Sometimes this bed sore is very dangerous. So what you have to do, all the lubricants and other things and all you have to put it. Burns, one of the important one, maybe acids or chemicals and everything. And most important thing, very rare, malignant tumors. Mostly our country people will not be get it, because we have a rich number of melanin. It will be prevent the skin cancer, but the white people also will be getting, but rarely also we may get also. That's called malignant tumors, basal cell carcinoma, malignant melanoma. So basal cell carcinoma, malignant melanoma. So what is called athletic foot? What is the other name of athletic foot? What is called tinea capitis? What is ringworm infection or tinea capitis? So this is about a small overview. Don't think we are studying more. We are studying very little. Just I am teaching a overview. Just these points you remember very well, you are going to get a mark. Draw the structure and write it. Madam already given you most of the notes, and this also I will be posted in your group. So this is not a detailed notes, but with this you can recollect what are all the ideas, what are all the glands you can write. Glands immediately you can remember, right? About apocrine, ectocrine gland, sebaceous gland, what is presenting, what it's secreting. Understand what is the inflammation, what it is blockage, what is it. You can correlate and study. Understand? Okay. Thank you.